Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I'm Step and this is going to be part 41 of my early campaign where I'm playing as England. And our war against the Spanish, it's not over, but it's at that point of the war where I don't feel too threatened by them anymore. Their navies have been destroyed, and as of this turn I'm going to be having boats, I think in most provinces, or most sea regions that is. Except for the Western Mediterranean, that's one that I'm seeing that is empty. But if we look here, there are no more enemy boats on the water, and that includes the French, of course, but also the Spanish. And even as is, without these regions being controlled yet, I mean currently, but even without those, I'm making 15,000 per turn. And I imagine that's going to jump up to be, oh, I don't know, what, 20,000 maybe? I guess we'll find out pretty soon here. And I have been doing what I can to destabilize the Poles. However, I'm going to be honest with you. Considering this is episode 41 for this campaign, and it's the year 1311, we haven't even reached the late period yet, which is going to be the 1320, I believe. This campaign should really pick up its pace a bit. And if that means me spending less time on micromanaging my agents in the Polish territory, I'm fine with that, because I do want to get things rolling here. And I don't mind having a late game invasion of the Polish territory if that does come down to it. I do have in mind certain late game armies that I might want to showcase. Something that might have like maybe pikes with billmen as a supporting piece, with potentially either guns and longbowmen, or longbowmen and cannons, one or the other. I think it could be a really fun combination. And then, yeah, find a fight to showcase those armies in. They're not going to be super powerful just because the pikes themselves aren't like the greatest units, but they are fun to use in those types of battles and army compositions. So that's going to be the play. I don't have even access yet to... Yeah, I still cannot train chivalric knights, and I've been working on them for a while. So yeah, they really do take some time to build up to. So here in Brittany, when the Citadel's finished, which again looks like it's around 4 turns or so. So yeah, it's a ways off before we get to chivalric knights, because even then we're going to need another building or two, I imagine, to get those knights going. And then even with the other... I feel like we're building stuff everywhere, so like we're not even to pike territory. We need citadels, I think, before we can get pikes. And then, or even, I don't even know if we can get pikes before the late game. There might be a late game exclusive kind of unit. And then cannons as well. We're kind of like working on it, but for a time I was prioritizing naval units, and I might continue to do that for a little while before I start building some demi-culverins, and then eventually like actual culverins, and maybe some serpentines as well. I guess we'll find out. But in general, the idea for this episode at least is to kind of quicken the pace a little bit and get some turns under our belt. If the Spanish attack me, I mean, they do have the forces to do so up here, and they haven't done so yet. So they might really be feeling the pressure from the Italians down here in Iberia. And even though I would love to spend the time in really trying to like help the Italians to survive and be strong and powerful, I do need to sort of speed things along a little bit, because even though I'm not not afraid of having like long campaigns, like don't get me wrong, but still like there's a limit to that. So yeah, this episode is going to be kind of breezing through some turns if I can get that done. Oh, snap. Okay, well, how about this? The Aragonese have reappeared. Okay, well, so much for a quiet episode. I mean, things still might be okay for me, but, yeah, that's a brand new neighbor bordering Aquitaine here. So it starts off as unrest, because there's going to be like a peasants' rebellion right there. But then in addition to that, there is an Aragonese reemergence, which it appears it is just Aragon. I'm not seeing any other provinces, Alright, the King of Poland has died as well, so it's going to be interesting to take a peek at the new Polish king to kind of see what is happening there. The Byzantine Emperor has died as well. Inquisition. Oh, my own freaking Grand Inquisitor is causing Inquisition in Wales. I should probably move him out of there. And yep, okay, got it. People being killed. Yep. Master Merchant finished here in Northumbria. And the Barbican finished here in Edessa as well, that defensive structure. Just in case someone wanted to get a little cheeky with me up here in Edessa. Citadel finished in Antioch, and here we are, the Aragonese reappear. So I'm keen to check out what they have, although poor Aragon only has a fort, so they really don't, they're not going to be getting much in the way of infrastructure. And I wonder if that's going to be determining the actual composition of their reemergent armies. I've wondered at if that is the case, and this is going to be a good indication, I suppose, to kind of point me in the right direction in that regard. Okay, 1-star general, minus 20% cost to bribe. That's not good. And minus 1 command, plus 3 valor. Alright, well, I'll take that plus 3 valor. So, Peasants' Rebellion, first things first. Jesus Christ, alright, so for a Peasants' Rebellion, Feudal Knights, and then Genites, Archers, Arquebusiers, and then, yeah, Peasants. The 3 Feudal Knights, that's not bad. The Spanish are going to have to retreat from Aragon, for sure. So yeah, they don't have much here. I mean, it's not nothing, but yeah. And then for the Aragonese themselves, they have the Almogavars. Oh, that's such a cool unit. And typically, it's my understanding that it can only be gained from Crusades. Like, you can't train this unit, so it's like, damn. So they can get them in reemergence armies? That's so cool, because it's a unique javelin unit. It's javelin, but it has a spear as well. And yeah, it says right here, these lightly armored Catalan mercenaries ply their trade all around the Mediterranean. They are shock troops armed with javelins that give them a fearsome missile attack to open gaps or a subsequent charge with their spears. Few others can match their professional determination and ferocity. And the Catalan company is a very interesting little historical nugget for those of you who don't know much about it. I can't claim that I do either, but it's my understanding that they were kind of formed in the war that was after the Sicilian Vespers, where the Aragonese king and nobility was able to take control of Sicily from the French dude. I can't remember his name. You can see I'm already struggling with my history here. But Aragon was able to get a foothold and actually like got into Sicily. I think it was the wife. Was it the wife of the previous king or something? Was the Aragonese sister? Is like his king's sister or something like that? Anyway, so like mercenaries after that war was over, these Catalan mercenaries, you know, they needed a job because that's just how soldiers are. Without a war, you know, they're gonna do what they do. And so they were kind of, I can't remember if they were like, that the Aragonese nobility give them ships or like, go find something to do, or were they like kicked out? I can't quite remember, but they ended up working, and I use that word lightly, with the Byzantines. And they did very well fighting for the Byzantines against the Turks. So well, in fact, that they felt like they could just do whatever they wanted to, and they were just like sacking Byzantine towns too. And they were a real menace. You know, it's like one of those instances where the enemy that you let in is worse than the enemy without. And, you know, the people were like, Jesus, give us back the Turks, for Christ's sakes. These Catalans are way, way worse. And the Byzantines, like, assassinated Roger de Flor, which is the Catalan leader. And then the Catalans went absolutely apeshit, and they were rampaging. It was like, they weren't a big group. It was like a couple thousand or something. And they were just really good fighters. And they ended up like taking a duchy down here, the Duchy of Athens. And it was a very similar situation. It was like a Latin emperor or Latin king guy. This is after the, 1204 sack of Constantinople, of course. And yeah, it was like a similar situation where a Latin king invited them in to like fight against a rival, and they like did that. But then they got like screwed over or something. They're like, all right, well, we're just going to kill you and take your land. And they had their own little duchy in Athens for not quite a century, I don't think. I think that, they sound like a bunch of brigands, really. And, they don't seem like they were really good rulers for people to live under. So I don't think they lasted a long time. But still, like, considering for what they were, to have that control of a territory for, even if it was like 60 years, is still commendable. Especially since there's no, after the assassination of Roger de Flor, there's no, I don't remember reading anything about like who their leader was, like who stepped up in the wake of him being killed. It almost kind of felt like it was a real, I hesitate to say democratic because that's not the right way to say these kinds of things, but a real kind of like groupthink kind of, you know, they might have just been really just a tight-knit group of dudes that were able to make decisions. But typically you need a leader to like, you know, veto the group and make a quick decision. So there must have been someone, but like, I don't know of any, I don't know who that was. Yeah, there has to have been someone who like stepped up, and yeah, I don't know if we know who that person's name is. Anyway, they're very cool, and it kind of sucks that the Aragonese, when they're played by the human player, doesn't get to recruit these guys. The Almogavars, I believe, the reason why they're called that, I believe, oh, see, now I'm out of my depth. It's like, yeah, I'm out of my depth. There's a time where I kind of knew about that, but now I don't, so I'll stop talking about it. Anyway, so feudal knights, genites, arbalesters, feudal knights. I mean, this ain't bad, considering that. So like they have a bowyer's workshop and a siege engineer and a port and an improved farmland. So that would indicate that the infrastructure of the settlement or the province has no determination on the units in the reemerging army, because obviously nothing like this can be trained here. So yeah, not bad, not bad. And no shit, a 4-star king. Oh no, that's not the king. Okay, I was gonna say, this is what reemergent kings look like. They always look like they have really shitty stats and low influence, which I always thought was really bizarre. I don't know what the thinking behind that is, because this is a freaking reemergence, you know, like this is a, you know, a rebellion, essentially, a comeback, you know, a real Alfred the Great situation where he's hiding in the swamps and he is able to gather the, you know, gather his people and gather his thanes and come back and kick the Danes out. Like, that's what this is, you know. So you would think that the king would be like, you know, a gangsta, and instead you get like King Philip II with 2 influence. You're like, what? People rallied to his cause? But then they were always accompanied by a decent general. In this case, we have him, who, Don Roger de Loria. In fact, he's, he's an historical general, isn't he? Isn't he the Navy captain? Roger de Loria. I thought that he was the Navy captain. Skilled assaulter, +1 command when assaulting walls. Ooh, I feel like that's the guy. Maybe not. Maybe I got the wrong guy, but they had a Navy captain that was winning battles and shedding. Anyway, but yeah, reemergences always have a shitty king with like a decent secondary general, and it's almost as if the narrative presents like him as the guy that's propping up the king, and I don't quite understand that. So let me know what your thoughts are on that, because I'd be curious to like hear. I can understand. Okay, so the only way I can kind of imagine this and picture this is child kings, you know, because that's kind of what the reemergence in some ways indicates, is that, you know, if a faction is eliminated before the, you know, one of the children comes of age, then that children is tracked by the game and he can come back at some point later on. And in that sense, so like historically, you can kind of have these claimants to the throne that are being propped up by either the mother or like some other dudes that can fight, and I will stand by this child, but it's more like a, you know, you're the regent and the child is like the figurehead kind of thing. So there's that, like I get that. And if that's what this is trying to depict, that's one thing, but the fact that reemergences only happen if that child was grown into a man, in this case a 29-year-old, that doesn't quite fit what that is. So yeah, that doesn't really work. Yeah, I wonder what this is. Anyway, chivalric sergeants. Yeah, good stuff. Arbalesters, some mounted sergeants as well. And then what do we have here? Arbalesters, genites, mounted sergeants. Yep. Oh, this is good. And if it is targeted against us, that's bad. So, So, let me check my forces in Aquitaine and see what we have here. So 6-star General Lord Fitzalan. You're good, and you've been good for a while. No principles, that sucks. That sucks. Minus 50% of bribery cost. And he doesn't have any morale boosting traits, but his 6 command stars is very good. And his army is, you know, he has the longbowmen, chivalric men-at-arms, billmen, feudal knights are here somewhere. Yeah, but we got feudal knights, we got hobblars, we have turcopoles for our light cav, and hobblars. So 4 stacks against what, their 4 stacks? That'd be a tough fight. That would be a tough fight. And especially, there's been some weird, so like, in these situations where a reemergent faction takes over a province, which is clearly being held by another faction, you would think that that's a clear indication that those two factions would go to war with each other. And I don't think that that's the case. I think that there are these like weird scenarios where they kind of avoid that war. So just because the Aragonese are coming here into a Spanish-held territory, I think if they just like get out of there now, which they will, then I think that they avoid a war happening. And in that case, then what can happen is that they could become friends. And then I have that and that on my border. And that's a little dodgy. So I can't talk to them yet because they're not here yet, technically. But next turn, I'm going to have to try to talk to these people and see if I can get them on side. Does he has to have a, does he have an heir or no? I'm not seeing one. Okay. All right. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Well, I guess I was wrong about the emergent faction not going to war against the faction that they are taking back their province from. So the Aragonese and the Spanish are at war. That's good news. The Spanish are inside of this fort, which I imagine is going to take for 2 turns. Yep, 2 turns before that falls. And that's pretty crazy because now the Aragonese are cutting off this large, you know, group of Spanish forces away from their main empire, which, I say, they were already pretty much cut off because the Italians are here. In fact, yes, the Italians, oh my goodness. The Italians have taken back Morocco. Now, that's going to be difficult to take that garrison out of that castle. And where the hell are you guys going? Oh, right, the Italians have been excommunicated, so the Spanish crusade is heading towards there. Okay. I mean, they have a full-strength unit of Knights Santiago led by a 2-star general. 0 loyalty, though. That's interesting. I wonder... So, their king, yeah, 2 influence. He's struggling. Yeah, I wonder... Let's take a peek at these people. They look like they're doing okay. Well, 3 loyalty for him, so he could be in a spot of danger. In fact, let me continue to spy on him. And maybe I can lower his loyalty. I think that's right. Spying lowers loyalty, I think. Think so. And then let's go back over. So you're fine loyalty-wise. Just checking out these guys' loyalty to see how they're doing. 2 loyalty on him. Okay. Yeah, they're in some trouble, but still, that's a powerful group of guys there in Toulouse. Yeah, that is. And also, I do have a princess that has come of age a few turns back. I think she came of age in, yeah, the last episode. Let's send her and try to gain an alliance. Yes, perfect. Let's go straight to the Aragonese. I could talk to them right now with my emissary. But I feel like a blood relation. I don't know if they are stronger. I don't know if that's a stronger type of alliance. And there is indication, though, that there's a higher chance of it being accepted if it is by a princess. But again, that would require some pretty intense studies, I think. But I'll send her. She'll just be there in like a 1 turn, I think, because everything's connected now. Yeah, I got my boats in place, so my agents can now just move around everywhere in 1 turn again. Yeah, perfect. Yep, just like the good old days. Oh, and just to show you, not quite making 20 grand. Making 18 though. 18 grand per turn, so not bad. Perfect. Now, we do have an alliance with the Aragonese, and that should go a long ways towards protecting us from any shenanigans on their end. So they seem to be more interested in fighting the Spanish, and that is fine by me. Go Aragon, do your worst. I have now just finished building the Constable's Palace here in Wessex, and this is another one of those buildings that does confer a title that can be gifted to one of my governors or generals. The term constable is a derivation from Comes Stabuli, the count or companion of the stables in Roman times. This office of high honor is concerned with the monarch's field armies, important tournaments, and all other matters military. The magnificence of the Constable's Palace reflects this high and mighty status. So yes, we do now have this title, and this is going to be giving 2 loyalty and 2 command. Really not bad, actually. Yeah, that's a very good one. So it's worth keeping an eye on. I mean, these are like my 3 top guys, right? Are here in, what do we have? Lord Mortimer, King of Scotland. He's been given +1 command from the title of King of Scotland. So what is he, a 6-star general? 6 stars, and then does he have any morale boosting traits? No, he does not. And then here we have Lord Roos in Ile-de-France, Lord of Ireland, which is given another command star. So we're looking at another, this is 7 stars. And then Gentle Knight is giving +3 morale. And then he also has Expert Defender and Skilled Attacker as well, for an additional +1 attacking and then +2 when defending. So he's excellent. He might be too good. I don't think he needs a boost, honestly. And then over here in Aquitaine, we have Lord Fitzwalter, the other guy, Fritzalon or whatever his name was. We were just taking a look at him. He just passed away, so this is going to be the new captain of this unit. 6-star general, so pretty good. And again, he doesn't have any morale boosting traits. Who's the other guy, by the way? Who are you again? I think you have one of those morale decreasing traits. You have, or not morale decreasing, you have the +3 morale. And then it's no mercy. Yeah, that's the Mindsword morale. But you have your Gentle Knight and a Natural Leader, so that's +5 altogether. So you have a net +4, which is still very good. In fact, you might be a good candidate for the Constable's Palace just because that brings you up to a nice and tidy 5 stars. So you're an option. You are. No one here needs loyalty given to them. So that's another thing to consider as well, is keeping our eyes out for someone who could use that loyalty bonus, but I would like to make a good general better. So I think that these are going to be my weaker generals out here in the Levant. So like, who's my best guy? Who's my top guy here? It's going to be you, Sir William Bouchier, and you are in a unit of militia sergeants. So yeah, you're going to be Simon de Montfort's old captain, basically. This is an old unit. And good runner, yeah, -3 morale. Frankly, we should have a better general here in Palestine. Okay, so I should find someone better than you. And if that means giving someone a Constable's Palace to make them higher than 2 stars, then that's going to be the way to go. And then are you the gluttony guy? Yeah, I have a couple gluttony guys and you are one of them. -4 valor, but then, yeah, you do have the +5 net gain for morale, in addition to 3-star generals. So you're a good leader. You are. You're just kind of chubby. And then, yeah, 4 stars. This is the guy that initially needed the loyalty boost, but he's looking pretty good right now. Thought I had married him into the family. No, you're right. I just gave him the Prince of Wales for the +2 loyalty. Got it. Yep. Got it. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, brave beyond belief is very good. 4 stars is good as well. So loyalty is fine though. And then yeah, you're good as well. +3 morale, Gentle Knight, and then 6-star general. Yeah, not bad. It's going to be about finding someone better than you. And if that means elevating someone someone else, then that's going to be the way to go. Let's go back up here. I thought that I had some more minor generals, like maybe here's a 2-star up here. Sir John Wolfstan. So what's your story? You could use the loyalty boost, actually. And then the command stars, natural leader, secret pride. So that's -1 command, +3 valor. And then, yeah, I could get you up to a 4-star general. And then give you command of Palestine. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Actually, I have a couple 2-star generals in here. You're another option. Sir Ralph Stanley. Ooh, good acumen on you as well. You could be a governor. Okay, that's worth keeping an eye on. Let's continue to take a look at you. So, highly educated and devout and numerate. Well, he's going to be a better commander because he has the natural leader trait. So, if I give it to anyone, I think it's going to be you. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let's give it to you, make you a 4-star, and then let's bring you down here to Palestine so that you can take control of the forces down here. You know what I forgot to do? Well, Lord Mortimer, the man that I've been waiting to send to Palestine for some time now, and I was waiting for my navies to actually connect my European territories with my Levantine territories, and they're connected, and then I forgot to give him control of Palestine. In fact, instead, I gave it to that upstart, Lord Wolfstan. So if I were to give Lord Mortimer the Constable's Palace title thingy, he would be a 6-star general, and he would be a better general for Palestine. So I'm going to be doing that instead. You know, you upstart you. Yeah, 4 stars is nice, but 6 stars is better. The natural leader, that's nice too. Lord Mortimer does not have that, but that's okay. I think, yep, I'm giving this. I'm going to find someone. Here you are. Here's an emissary. Come down here and strip this man of his titles. Constable of the Tower, and we will give that to Lord Mortimer, and then make him the general that guards Palestine. So yes, let's bring you down here before I forget again. Okay, wow. All right, I think I just saw the Italians and the Aragonese attacking the Spanish in Toulouse. I'm very curious. In fact, I feel a little bit left out. So the Poles are, so they got attacked. So they own Bavaria, but the Swiss are attacking them now. Man, everyone is just dogpiling in on the Poles, and I wonder how long they can continue to hold out. And here as well, this is very interesting. I wonder who's going to end up taking that. And I don't know if the Italians and the Aragonese are even allied. So the Spanish are retreating from Cordoba. Okay. Okay, I am excellent. I already knew that. And gosh darn, Bark was sunk here in the multi-channel. And then yes, we will give this title to Lord Mortimer. Rookery finished here in Scotland so that we can now, I think, get +2 Valor Spies, I think. And then a stew, I think that's for assassins. I think that might be +2 Valor Assassins, maybe. We have a daughter on the way. And Lord Longchamp. All right, you are not a star general. You are not a star general, and you are a 1-star general who is charitable. Okay, doesn't really matter. So what happened? Do they? Okay, who's? So the Aragonese and the Italians are allied. There's no way. The Spanish held out a combined assault from the Aragonese and the Italians? Or did they just retreat before the attack went through? These armies do not look damaged enough to have fought them off. This army is a bit damaged, but I feel like these armies should be like way more damaged to have fought those armies off. That is so bizarre. How did they do that? How did they hang on? That is so, I'm just lost for words. I don't understand. Huh. Well, that's interesting. This is also interesting. There's been a few things interesting that have been happening. So the Swiss taking Bavaria, that's cool. However, there's 3 Polish stacks here in Austria, so there's a decent chance. I don't know. That's a tough fight. And the Polish armies are not made of the strongest units. They have a lot of Slav javelin men and a lot of archers. So the Poles, with their pikemen and their halberdiers and their mounted crossbows, they might actually do okay. And then up here, this has been another unexpected turn. So like way back when when the Danes took Pomerania, and I was like, there's no way they're going to hold on to that because the Poles have forces here in Saxony and Brandenburg and Poland, and then at the time Prussia, and then they never took back Pomerania. And now the same thing happened with Prussia, where the Danes attacked it, and I thought to myself the same thing. Well, they're bordered by Poland, Volhynia, Lithuania. Like there's no way they can fight off any potential counterattacks. But the Poles may be starting to get a little bit overstretched. I don't know. It's always hard to tell with these things. I do have spies in some provinces, which is forcing them to keep their stacks in those provinces, I think, to maintain public order. And I have, at least in the last episode, I was using my inquisitors to kill their governors and generals. I haven't been doing that in this episode, just to, again, save some time. But the fact that they weren't able to just immediately expel the Danes from Prussia says a lot, I think. And the Novgorods as well, like they don't have much, but all it takes is for a little bit of a thinning of the forces here in these northern regions, and that could leave an opening for the Novgorods. Are they still at war with them? They are, yeah. Yeah, the Poles are at war with the 5 factions right now. Byzantines, Danes, Papacy, Novgorod, and now the Swiss. Yeah, the Papacy has hung on to Croatia for some time, and Venice, so... Now, the Byzantines, there hasn't been any real pushback. They've just been holding, I suppose. The Poles did attack Greece at the first turn of this episode, but yeah, obviously they couldn't take it, so... Yeah, very interesting. The Polish Empire is still huge, but it might just be a paper tiger. Yeah, I kind of... The cracks can be hard to see, but there might be some cracks here. Now my king has died. I think he died at the age of 58 or 59, and he does have a son that is of age. I think is probably 30 or so, so I'm curious to see. He should have sons. He's been married for some time, and the French are happy. That's good for them. They better be. They better be happy just hanging out there in Champagne. And let's get to the good stuff, because I saw the Danes also taking Lithuania from the Poles, which is very exciting because they are just going on a roll right now. Let's get to it. Come on, give it to me. All right, son on the way. So that should be my current king's son, right? I would imagine so. And just, I'm just skipping past this. Oh, here we are. So we have our, homelands, or not homelands, but our glorious achievement for subdue Scotland. That's into that little artwork there. So we got 6 points for this, and yeah, look at that. In the year 1320. Pretty nice. So, where is my new king? There you are, here in Mercia. So yeah, you're pretty good. 5 influences is like, okay, but yeah, 4 command, 4 acumen, 1 piety, 2 dread, great warrior, and materialist. So all not bad. And what do we have here? We have ourselves the Archbishop of Canterbury. So we've finally finished building the cathedral here. Yeah, that took a while. So +3 morale for the billmen that I'm training here. Well, all units, but this is my billmen province. So they'll be receiving +1 valor from the province and the additional +3 morale from the cathedral, which is pretty awesome. So I can just retrain these guys right away. And I can give this title to someone, acumen and piety, which is going to be very nice as well. All right, so King, do you have any sons? So Prince Alfred, I think, is going to be his younger brother, I think. And then Prince Edmund, I think, is the one that was just born. And he should be this king's son. Okay. That's fine, but let's see, how old are you? 31. So yeah, try to have maybe another son or two, you know? Why not? Life is for living. Have some fun, okay? And up here, yes, Lithuania. Gosh, the Danes are just on a roll. My goodness. Good for them. I just don't know. I don't understand how, like, there's barely any Danes. There's one unit of feudal sergeants here in Pomerania, and the Poles have multiple stacks surrounding this province, and they are not responding. I just don't understand. I mean, I guess they are facing pressure from every which direction, so that's something, but still, I'm just shocked by how paralyzed they seem. I'm comparing provinces right now, and I'm comparing their income to see which governor I would like to give that additional +2 acumen to. And so if I look here, Antioch is making 8,800 florins per turn, and then Flanders is at 6,300, and then we go down here, and then Tripoli is at 9,600. So those are my top 3, I believe. Yes. Okay. So Tripoli, let's look at this. So Lord Fitzalan, you are here, and then this is Tripoli, and he has 5 acumen, which isn't that insane, and he has the highest earning province. And then Antioch here has Lord Bolingbroke. Is that you? Yes, it is. And you have insane acumen. Holy shit. Yeah, you have a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 acumen. And that's just for my second earning province. Flanders, Lord Montfort, and Lord Montfort. So that's you? No, that's not. That's you. Okay. And he has 6 acumen, and that is with the Great Chamberlain title as well, which grants 2 acumen. So I can't give him any more titles if I wanted to, even. Now, there was someone over here that I had noticed initially. That's you. You have 6 acumen. I could bring him up to 8 acumen, and then make you the new governor of Tripoli. Yeah, I like that idea, because yeah, my current governor of Tripoli is only 5 acumen, right? Let me check that again. Yeah, it's just 5. So I could... Oh, -3 from being inbred. Oh, that sucks. Sucks for him, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be stripping him of his title, and then giving that title to that other man up in Flanders. Where is my... I know I have an emissary just right here. You're right here. There you are. Yeah, let's do that. And then let's see. So Tripoli has 9,600, and let's see what it goes up to when we give it to that other guy. Okay, here is the Polish pushback. They have pushed the Danes out of Lithuania, and they have pushed the Danes out of Pomerania as well. Okay, the Spanish and the Italians are continuing to go back and forth over here over Cordoba. And the Italians, ooh, they're retreating from Leon. Oh, there's an Italian pushback here in Iberia. Interesting. And Castile, okay. So, a flood in Brittany. Luckily, nothing was destroyed, thank God. Wow, that could have been really bad. Income halved in Brittany. That's, you know, it's whatever. And the Spanish are preparing to invade Aragon. And I saw another attack happening between the Italians and the Aragonese and going into Toulouse. But I guess they retreated, or they were just defeated again. There we go. So we did score our homeland's objectives, which does feel pretty good. Yes. Alright, so are these armies getting beat up or what? They have to be. There was 4, right? Like 4 damage stacks. Now it's down to like, you know, like 2.5 or so. But still, I'm just really confused as to how... Ooh, look at that. Oh, they got that late era artwork for the, yeah, now that it's a late era for the bodyguards, that looks pretty neat. Yeah, I like that with the armor change. So yeah, how are the Aragonese not winning here? And the Italians, like it's just really, really bizarre. Okay, and this is less so. Like this is finally what I expected to be happening. So the Danes have hold up here in Prussia, so they're a bit cut off now, which isn't good for them. Man, it'd be nice if the Novgorods made a move, you know, to really take some pressure off of the Danes. Everything else I think is status quo across the frontier. Yeah. Yeah, so the Poles might be able to just focus their efforts on the Danes for now. Ah, now this is interesting. So in the year 1322, we've received 2 new objectives here. Well, one objective, but then like a different place we need to take for our homelands, which is Rhodes, which is interesting. That's going to be actually drawing us into conflict with our ally, the Byzantines. Yeah, I didn't know that we would have to take Rhodes at some point, otherwise I would not have entered into an alliance with them. Well, that's a bit tricky. Honestly, you know what? I mean, they don't have a lot here, and what I could do is try to turn Rhodes. What do they do have a border fort inside, which is going to be tricky. But I can also toss in a lot of these guys, a lot of these bishops. So what is it? Is that 13% Catholicism? And this can potentially cause some issues. And I wonder if I have any cardinals. I don't know if I do. I think I can train them up here in Mercia. Yeah, I can train these cardinals because of the cathedral that I just did build. Yeah, Cardinal is a powerful figure in the Catholic Church hierarchy, and his mere presence does much to boost the faith of Catholics. And they only take 1 turn to train, 150 florins, so let's get these guys going, and I can bring them down. Before I forget, let's see, so yeah, this is going to be given to you, right? Yeah, so you're going to be the new governor of Tripoli, and I'm just very curious. So it was at 9,600 before I stripped that man of his titles. So now it's going to be given, ooh, that even gives 1 point of acumen as well. Oh shit, so it's going to be up to 9 acumen after all is said and done. Oh, that's excellent. So let's do this and come up here. So that's Count of Tripoli, and now let's give him this. And then let's come down here and see where we are at. 11,700. Holy shit. That's crazy. How much are we making now? 21,000 per turn. Oh my god. Oh man, that is so much. Now back to Rhodes. Because it's such a small territory, we actually can't fit a lot of agents here. We're kind of limited to what we can fit here. And that's why my brain immediately went to thinking about cardinals, just because I can get more bang for my buck from those guys. So let's just throw a few of these bishops in for this turn, and then I can start replacing them with cardinals as they get pumped out. And yeah, here's the thing, with the border fort, I still might be able to brute force my way in with spies now that I do have Valor 1 spies trained up here. Actually, wait a minute, I can train Valor 2 spies now, can't I? I can, yes I can. Okay, so let's get these guys going, and let's just brute force my way in, and let's see if I can fit. How many do I have here? 6? Yeah, let's see if I can fit 6 spies on Rhodes. And even if just 1 gets through, that's all we need. Well, that's all that's going to count when it comes to lowering public order. And we'll see. It's at 126 loyalty right now. And if we can sort of boost the Catholicism and get just 1 spy inside, we might be able to do some work. Oh, that's pretty funny. It's so crowded that when I put one on Rhodes, it went to where Rhodes actually is. I didn't know that. I've never seen that before. Oh, that's really neat. That's kind of cool. So that'd be the same thing here. If I just crowded Malta, then I'd end up with agents here just in the middle of the ocean. Well, you know, where Malta is. So that's kind of cool. That's one of those things that when I started playing this game, and the map is weird. Like, I've been playing it for so long now that I just kind of take these things for granted. But the fact that they have like a magnified roads here, just like in this little box, that is haggard. You know, like that's pretty haggard. And I forget sometimes, like when I remember looking at this game and just really my eyes had a hard time getting used to seeing what this was, because you have to kind of like, you know, when you're first looking at this game and you're seeing the sea regions, you know, broken up, and you have to kind of see, you know, where these sea regions border and what provinces they border. And you're looking at, and then this is there, and you're like, okay, so what is this? Where is this? It's here. Okay. So if I want to trade with this port, I need to put a boat here. Okay, come on, brain, you can do this. You know, it's one of those things that's not, you know, it's funny. I was just looking at my Steam library before I started recording tonight, and I'm very close to having 1,000 hours in this game. I think I'm at like 990 hours in this game. And yeah, it really shows, I think. Not so much in my gameplay, but it shows in just like my comfort level with the map, that is. Because this map took getting used to. This is not what I would call a pretty map. My eyes, when I do switch to Shogun 1, my eyes feel like they get to relax a bit, because Shogun 1 is a lot easier to look at, I think. That's not to say that a certain love for the aesthetics of this game can carry through just based on love for the game and, you know, a bit of nostalgia and all that. But it's a jarring, I think it is a jarring visual experience. It is. It's just, I have to kind of remind myself of that based on how many hours I now have in, you know, so there's definitely that comfort level. Oh my goodness, I lost every single spy. Not a single spy got in. Oh, word. Okay. Okay. Well, those were the Valor 1 spies. Gosh, I wonder if they have agents here. That's the kind of thing that makes you think they have agents here, because otherwise I thought that you could brute force your way in, whereas if you put a lot of spies going in at the same time, I thought that at least a couple could get in, you know, even if I lost, you know, 4 or 5, at least 1 or 2 would get in. But no, that did not happen at all. Well, let's start bringing the Cardinals down at least. And once I have a decent stable of Valor 2 spies, I'll try that again. Okay, I mean, I do have until, what, the year 1350? Is going to be the next counting period before I have to take Rhodes. And I don't have to do it this way as well. I mean, obviously I can just take it from the Byzantines. I don't want to go to war with them. That means I'm going to be losing some influence for my king by attacking an ally. Unless I end up having... Ooh, okay. I don't love this idea. But if I got an alliance with the Poles, I would have to choose between the Poles and the Byzantines, and then I could just choose the Poles. That is a way of doing that. But if I got an alliance with the Poles, then I would have to lose my alliance, at least, you know, for some time, with everyone that I've allied with. Basically, I've allied with everyone who is at war with the Poles, and that would put me in a kind of a tough spot there, so... Yeah, I think the more straightforward approach would be the best. If it came down to it, if I was running out of time, I could just attack and try to sue for peace. They do have some boats in the water, though, some galleys and some dromons. Low tier stuff, but still, that can be annoying to deal with. Those dromons are super fast, and they're hard to catch. Yeah. Yeah, dromons, galleys. Yep. Alright, so what do we have here? So this is the Warden of the Kinky Ports. Okay, alright, I'm down for it. So this document grants it to the holder the privileges, rights... Actually, no, yeah, we know what this is, but it's from the Admiralty, which just got built. So the office of Admiral gives its holder immense status as the Lord of the Sea and the leader of a nation's sea captains, although the holder may be only an honored landlubber. the duties can be onerous, but the titles, privileges, and the handsome admiralty building more than compensate. And yes, they do. And was that another 2... What was it again? So 1 loyalty, 2 command stars. Another good one, yeah. Not as good as the Constable's Palace, but still quite good. 2 command stars. Hot damn. All right. So yeah, I'll think about it. This might be for you, Sir Edward Fitzallen. Yeah, that one might be for you. Because you're 6 stars, or you. You're another option, but yeah, the gluttony thing is kind of a downer. Kind of a downer. I think just off of the top of my head, I'm thinking you. I remember you're the guy that fought some pretty good battles for me in Odessa. Was that against the Mongols? Jesus, was that? God, I don't know, man. It's been a long time. Was that the Egyptians? Fucking A, I don't. Mongols, had to be the Mongols, yeah. Jesus, this campaign, this campaign. Oh dear, alright, yeah, looking good. Yeah, 5 stars looks way better than 3. So let's keep it going here. Oh, I can't build any more title buildings here in Wessex. Boo. Alright, well, I guess I could... The Master Shipbuilder, so that I could get the Carracks, is... That's an idea. I would have to get the Master of Foundry. And to get that building, I think I have to get a fortress first anyway. Doesn't say so, but I would imagine so. Because it's not available to me right now. Yeah, so Carracks is the 4th tier of boat that's available only to the Catholic factions. The Muslims only get 3 boats. And the Catholics, yeah, Catholics are doing pretty good. The fact that they get a cog as their tier 3 is like, goddamn, it's pretty good. And the fact that the English get cogs with +1 valor bonus here in Wessex is pretty good as well. Which makes me wonder, like, I wonder how much better the Carrack is than the cog. They must be pretty good. They must be. I just can't remember. Yeah, 4 attack, 2 defense, 2 speed. So 4, 2, and 2 for the cog. And those ones... Actually, I wonder... I have to have some plus valor cogs, but does it even display it if they've been trained in Wessex? I don't know. I think they all just display the same stats. 4, 2, and 2. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess that valor is like a hidden thing, eh? Probably. Well, in any case, let's just go fortress for now. Yeah. We'll keep Wessex busy building something for a while. Aha! And the Aragonese have taken Toulouse. In fact, that probably happened in the last turn, and I just forgot to mention it. But yeah, they own Toulouse now. That was a tough little scrap. They had to go in and attack it multiple times with help from the Italians. And the Italians are... It looks like they took Navarre. Loyalist Rebellion here in Castile. Is that on side of the Italians? Ooh, it is. The Italians got some reinforcements coming in. Nice. Good for them. In fact, actually, I will take credit for that one because I noticed that the border fort there had been destroyed, if there ever was one, and I put a spy there. And yeah, that's definitely what provoked that, or prompted that Loyalist Rebellion for the Italians. So let's take a look at that in a moment. Oop, Prince Alfred. Prince Alfred came of age. I think that's my king's brother. God damn, 5 stars? Hell yeah, dude. And Gunsmith's Workshop. Yeah, I'm getting ready for guns. Yeah, eventually. And let's see. Oh, gosh darn. The Prince of Novgorod has declined my marriage proposal. Come on, guys. I was trying to help you out. The Danes did say yes. I just didn't say anything about it. But yes, I've been allied with the Danes since like the mid part of this episode as son of princess. I had a spare. And yeah, they were all about it. In fact, did they take back some territory? Yeah, they got Prussia back. Prussia and Pomerania. Yeah, good for them. Give them hell, boys. Give them hell. All right, Prince Alfred, you are a great warrior, +5 health, and hard sums, +1 acumen. God damn. And 5 loyalty, that's okay. It's okay. That makes me a little nervous because if he is the king's brother, which I think he is, there is an age difference there, but I'm pretty sure he is just the younger brother. And since he's going to be passed up for kingship once Prince Edmund comes of age, I wonder if there's going to be a loyalty drop here. That's something that Count MRVHS, I think that he's observed it more than I have, but I wasn't really paying attention. And then I think I was observing it like once during this campaign maybe, and I noticed it and I was like, oh shit, that is a thing. Like the passed over princes do get kind of pissed off, so this is worth keeping an eye on. Prince Alfred, I got my eye on you. But I guess, if anything, I do have those titles. Oh, we can't give titles to royalty. That's right. God, so weird. All right, let's get these cardinals going over the roads. All in all, I feel like this has been a productive episode, and even though it has been a rather quiet one on my end, it has been enjoyable to watch these things happen on the map and see things shake out like this. Seeing the Aragonese reemerge and then take Toulouse, with all of those giant Spanish stacks, and now they're gone. You know, now I have an ally on my border. It's very nice. And seeing the Danes also assert their control over the Baltic area is really enjoyable as well. And the fact that the road is now on my Glorious Achievements objectives list has thrown a nice little wrinkle into the future of this campaign as well. Not that it's going to be a great challenge or anything, but it is something to consider going forward. So before I go, I just wanted to say that if you're enjoying these videos and you would like to support the channel, then consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. It all helps immensely. So until next time, this has been Concept playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.